How do some of the scariest dinosaurs compare to some of the cutest? One game is developed for a multi-billion-dollar franchise, and the other made by a small indie studio. But which is better? Let's find out. Building in both games is quite difficult. Parkasaurus uses a grid-based building tool where you're restricted to placing objects on a grid. This can be great as it stops you placing too many items everywhere and everything stays nicely organised. But it can also be really restrictive. Sometimes you need to rethink where you want to place objects because they simply don't fit in the spaces you've planned. And the grid doesn't allow them to be placed in certain places as they collide with other objects. However, Jurassic World Evolution 2's building system is the complete opposite. You get a surface building tool that gives the illusion of constructive freedom when the places you can place objects are actually really restrictive. It's the same story with the path tool. Parkasaurus sticks to the grid-based tool and you place paths with your selections. But Jurassic World Evolution 2 uses a path tool that's easy to use out in the open, but the second you start approaching buildings, it's snapping in different places and is really awkward to use. I do appreciate the construction time-lapse effect in JWE2, but it's not enough to pull it ahead of Parkasaurus, who undoubtedly wins this category. Which of the two games has the best animals? The style of models is possibly slightly different and difficult to compare, but I think there's definitely something to talk about there. Jurassic World Evolution 2 aims for animals that more closely resemble the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park and the Jurassic World films, which are far from realistic. The issue I have with the JWE2 dinosaurs is that in the Jurassic World database, you're told a huge range of information from their height to their paleoecology, and when the models themselves are so scientifically inaccurate, how can players possibly be expected to trust anything that's being said? At least Parkasaurus embraces the dinosaurs that focus more on being adorable and less on being accurate. For this reason, I'll be deciding this category based more on how the dinosaurs behave. In Parkasaurus, the dinosaurs behave very unnaturally. They glitch about through their enclosures, but kudos for the dinosaurs interacting with one another and being able to breed. The behaviours in Jurassic World Evolution 2 are one of the game's highlights. The animals can have battles, and an animal's individual victories are tracked. Dinosaurs hunt for their food, and the animations for this on the feeders is really cool. The way they interact with each other certainly means that Jurassic World Evolution 2 wins this category. Which game has better guests? Well, in Jurassic World Evolution 2, the guests move around your park somewhat realistically to the dinosaurs, pointing at anything and everything in your park. They can visit and enter viewing stands such as the ones attached to a lagoon, and the animations and attention to detail in these are incredible. From the sound of it clinking as it reaches the bottom of the lagoon, to the narrator describing what's in the tank, it's impressive to say the least. You can see the guests in the various different viewing domes, and how many dinosaurs in range of the viewing dome affects the amount of guests that will use it. The guests also visit restaurants with the highest appeal, and can use attractions such as zip lines to get a better view. The guests are categorized into different groups from adventurous to casual, and this will affect how likely they are to use different attractions. In Parkasaurus, it's slightly different. The guests make their way around the park, travelling from dinosaurs with the highest appeals to your most prestigious hot dog stand selling gigantic hot dogs. You can improve their stay with scenery and amenities, and lighting to increase their chances of staying in your park for longer. They leave tips, can be eaten by dinosaurs, have terrible bathroom emergencies, and at the end of the day, they leave snarky reviews about your park. I love guests in Parkasaurus. They're genuinely amazing and hilarious, but the system in Jurassic World Evolution 2 has a lot more depth, so it wins this category. It's all very well to have a good guest system, but you need a good zoo management system to be able to view and understand what is going on and make improvements. That's why I love the system that Jurassic World Evolution has. It's themed around a sort of central control centre, like a command office where you handle all of your park's affairs. You have different camera views that you can use, understanding the work zones of your teams and how to optimise them, and areas of the park where the security, utilities or amenities are possibly lacking. You can also manage your staff here, but we'll talk more about this later on in the video. From here, you can also manage your expeditions, fossils, and view the Jurassic World database, an area containing a huge range of facts on the dinosaurs that's extremely comprehensive and helpful for when you're building enclosures. Parkasaurus instead follows the theme of an office. Everything you could possibly need to manage your park is kept neatly in your office, whether it's resumes to hire new staff, the section to apply skill points to or fire your current staff, or just your financial statistics. Parkasaurus also features a database of information of the dinosaurs, but it's far less in-depth and far more visually attractive. It's really nicely organised. I also really like how you manage your food supplies. You have to place an order with Kale Them With Kindness or Meatlaw's Meat Emporium, and they will be delivered to your park and distributed daily. This is the same place you can buy different gems you need for egg creation, and also coincidentally the same place you create eggs. Jurassic World Evolution 2 just sneaks ahead of Parkasaurus as you can do a lot more in one place. So, which game has the best terrain editing tool? Well, Parkasaurus has a pretty boring tool. You raise and lower terrain as well as place water and different biomes using a simple selection tool. Or you can use the Smart Terrain or Water tool, which raises or lowers terrain in about a 5 cube radius. The Smart Water tool, however, just fills any nearby holes in the ground. As I said, boring. It's definitely usable and it gets the job done, but it's nothing special. JWE2 has a nice raise, lower, smooth and flatten tool, similar to other games like it. As much as you know I love forest brush tools, it definitely feels less personal than placing trees one by one, but its inclusion in the game definitely gives it a bonus. The water tool in Jurassic World Evolution 2 is somewhat less customizable than Parkasaurus. You aren't even given the ability to customize its depth. Jurassic World Evolution 2 has a more fluid and easy to use terrain tool, winning it this category. I'm a huge fan of both the game's staff systems, so this is going to be a tough one. Jurassic World Evolution 2 has a great system where you hire scientists, train them up, manage their own rest levels to prevent sabotage, and it's great. The scientists' different attributes are needed to complete most tasks, like incubating eggs and completing research. And their different skill sets apply to different types of tasks. Moving away from scientists, the mobile vets, rangers, and capture teams have significantly less attention to detail. You have to assign each individual team to an enclosure, and the vehicles are affected by damage and adverse weather conditions like snowstorms. You can also take direct control of the vehicles and go on a rampage through your park, but you cannot actually run over your guests. In Parkasaurus, you hire new staff from the resume section of your office, and the system is really balanced. Scientists earn science points when completing sciencey tasks that can be used to research, and your staff can be trained and improved using skill points. One thing I like in particular is the ability to hover over your staff and see where they're going. If you're in a good mood, you could even pick them up and save them the trip. I think I've done this once, maybe twice. In Parkasaurus, you can also step in and do the staff's jobs for them on the security side. You can tranquilize dinosaurs and guests. This does deduct from your guest count though, so don't do this if you're short on cash. So in the end, Parkasaurus staff system is a lot more balanced, as Jurassic World Evolution's 2 system feels like it prioritizes the depth of the scientist side more. This was a tough category to decide, so let me know which one you would have picked in the comments. So overall, Parkasaurus won 2 categories and Jurassic World Evolution 2 won 4, meaning Jurassic World Evolution 2 wins. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my video comparing Jurassic World Evolution 2 to Prehistoric Kingdom. And if you agree or disagree with me on any of these categories, make sure to let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one, bye!